Hello, fifth graders. Today we are going to do opinion lesson 9, and what we're going to focus on is writing our conclusion paragraph. What you will need today is a piece of paper and a pencil or your writing journal. You're going to write a couple of notes, and we're going to look at some examples, and then you will get started on your own. So let's take a look at what we've done so far. We've done our introduction paragraph, our first reason paragraph, our second reason paragraph, our counterclaim paragraph, and today we're going to focus on our conclusion paragraph. So by the end of today, we will have a rough draft in all 5 paragraphs. So here's what you will need to begin writing. You're going to need your graphic organizer from your pre-write, your research notes, and your writing tips chart for good transition words to use. So here's what our conclusion paragraph will look like. I want you to write that at the top of your piece of paper, what our conclusion paragraph will look like. So what we're going to have is, first sentence is going to be our main claim. We're going to begin our paragraph with concluding transition and state our main claim again. But we're going to try to use different wording than we did when we stated it in our introduction. Our sentence 2 is going to be our evidence and reasons that we have presented. So we're going to sum up some of our strongest evidence we've used in our essay and go over our reasons again. Sentence 3 is going to be one final convincing statement. Add one more final convincing statement. And sentence 4, my favorite one, is our call to action. We're going to add a call to action. So a call to action is, what do you think should happen because of the opinion paper you have written? What should be changed or what should be done? So pause this video if you need to and write these down, because this will be important for you not only now, but when we do our second piece of our opinion paper. Because this is our first one, we're going to do one more. Okay. Let's look at some examples of conclusion paragraphs. So this writer is going to have a main claim, the evidence and reasons they have presented, one final convincing statement, and a call to action. So there will be at least 4 sentences. Unquestionably, the red light cameras have been helpful to lessen both violations and crashes at intersections where they have been used. Specific studies conducted in the US, including Texas and California, have shown that these cameras make a positive difference to decrease accidents. The red light cameras should remain in place as an added safety benefit for all drivers and their families. Please continue to install red light cameras and replace the ones that have been taken down. So this unquestionably, this is an example of one of their concluding transitions. You're going to have a list of those that you can choose from, and this is a good one. And I really like the way that they made their final convincing statement that the red light cameras have to remain in place because they're a safety benefit for all drivers and their families. And their call to action is, please continue to install these red light cameras and replace the ones that have been taken down. So this is a great example of a conclusion paragraph. Let's look at one more. This one will have a main claim, evidence and reasons they have presented, a final convincing statement, and a call to action. So I think there is much to be said for this automatic motion sensing hand dryer. Administrators will be glad to know that absenteeism will be lowered. Money can be saved. Finally, if the trees could talk, they would probably shout for joy, knowing that a whole school is saving a forest. Let's install automatic hand dryers at our school as soon as possible. So their main claim is that automatic motion sensing hand dryers need to be installed in the school. There's a lot to be said about them. One reason is administrators, like principals and stuff like that, they'll be glad to know that absenteeism will be lowered. Money can be saved. They're not going to have to spend so much money on paper towels anymore. And their final convincing statement is, finally, if the trees could talk, because you have to make paper towels from trees, they would probably shout for joy, knowing that a whole school is saving a forest. And their call to action is, let's install automatic hand dryers at our school as soon as possible. So this is a great example of a conclusion paragraph. This is something that I want you to look at and maybe use as an example that you can do. So here's your assignment today. You're going to use this graphic organizer to write out your conclusion paragraph. Restate your main claim. Restate your reasons and evidence. Make a call to action. Your paragraph must have at least 4 sentences. And you're going to share your conclusion paragraph with your teacher. I can't wait to see these and check them out, and by the end of today, you will have an entire rough draft ready to go. So get started on those conclusion paragraphs and send them my way.